And we start with Stoke City's first ever home game in the Barclays Premier League. They faced a tough baptism against free-scoring Aston Villa. The commentator at the Britannia Stadium was Guy Mowbray.
England's finest footballer and Stoke's most famous son, Sir Stanley Matthews, would have been a very proud man today as top-flight football returns to his city after a 23-year exile. And the Potters have already had warning of how tough it will be. Beaten 3-1 at Bolton last week, manager Tony Pulis has reacted with tough measures of his own. 5 changes, including debuts for the tough-tackling fives of Senegal, Amdi and Abdoulaye, and the return to full fitness of last season's joint top scorers, Liam Lawrence and Ricardo Fuller. After one game, Villa have the leading scorer in the Premier League, a hat-trick for Gabby Agbonlahor in a 4-2 win over Man City, and it's the same team that did that damage today, from the starting 11 to the 7 substitutes. This is the 100th game of Tony Pulis' second spell as Stoke City manager. Throw to be taken by Rory Delap, who specialised in long throw-ins throughout his career. Formerly of Derby County, Southampton and Sunderland. This is his 50th appearance for Stoke, and he hurls it in with some pace, and it bounces awkwardly away. It was an early chance for Amdi Faye to net on his Stoke City debut. Nobody else got a touch. Just a stone's throw from the Britannia Stadium. One floodlight pylon, that's all that remains of the old Victoria ground. Stoke City used to get over 50,000 crowds there in the 1930s. Here's Shorey. Almost opened up for him. Abdoulaye Faye got in his face at just the right time from a Stoke point of view. Bobbles over to Agbonlahor, who goes down. Mark Halsey was trying to peer through the crowd to see what happened there. Appeals for a penalty waved away. And Agbonlahor, with that outburst, obviously isn't heeding the new respect guidelines. I think Mr. Halsey was looking the other way. Lawrence. Here's Fuller. Pushed out towards the touchline by Larsson. Fuller is past him. Goes down as Larsson went into tackle. Again, the claims are waved away. This is Delap. Down he goes. This time it is a penalty. And Rory Delap takes the congratulations of his captain, Andy Griffin. Well, Delap had Lawrence there for company. Larsson did jump into the tackle. It was enough to send Delap off balance. Lawrence, 15 goals for Stoke City in their charge to the Premier League last season. On the spot now. And Liam Lawrence scores the first ever Premier League goal at the Britannia Stadium. The Britannia is bouncing and Stoke are up and running. Friedel was so close to it, but that's just about as perfectly tucked into the corner as you can get. Lawrence. Friedel, right to the edge of his boundary. Has to get back in quickly. Larsson's done a good job of keeping Fuller out. Made sure finding the target was going to be really difficult for the Jamaican striker. Now Brad Friedel gets a bit lucky there. Larsson very nearly got in his way at first, but then stood in the way of Ricardo Fuller. Should remind Stoke that Villa were the comeback experts last season. They rescued 18 points from being behind. Carew able to turn and face goal. And he claimed there was a touch there and that it should have been a corner. Thomas Sorensen stays coy. I don't think he got a touch. Petrov. Comes Abdoulaye Faye to knock one down to Rory Delap. Curtis Davis had no other option. 1-0 down at half-time. Villa would take right now. Delap in. and headed just wide by Fuller. No whistle. Pretty sure it would have counted, despite the bumping and boring just in front of Brad Friedel. Stoke fans are urging their team out of their half. Just a feeling that they're sitting back and inviting Villa onto them now. This is Ashley Young. I understand at 1-0 up, a cautious attitude from the Premier League new boys. Gareth Barry. It's a determined attitude, but Barry's got through the challenge. Then looked to scoop one over Thomas Sorensen, his former teammate. Got the scoop, but couldn't find the accuracy. Tony Pulis has never been relegated in 16 years in football management. This is his first crack at the top level. Olafinjana with a lovely turn there. Now Fuller. Kitson getting up there to support him. Lawrence wide. Lawrence going wider still. A mix-up between Larson and Petrov. Stoke claim handball. Was there an element of handball? I don't think there is. Carew. Luke Young again. Ashley Young. I was going to say, when's the shot going to come in? Not before Carl Dickinson had won it for Stoke. Now retreating once more. Ashley Young. Backheel to Carew brilliantly. John Carew! Patiently played through the Stoke back line. Finally the chance came, and John Carew was never going to miss it. Lovely, lovely Aston Villa football. Cracked in by big John Carew. It's Stoke City 1, Aston Villa 1. Gareth Barry. Now to Rio Coker getting infield, where I'm sure he'd really rather be, for just about the first time in the game. And he's won a free kick for Villa.